Hello, it's Sunday and we are in Bucharest and we are going to visit Ivan Gallery in Cotroceni, which for those of you who are not familiar with Bucharest, it's a residential area not far from the city center. So let's go in. What we see today in the gallery is an exhibition of Iulia Toma called Nodes of Resistance, an exhibition which we opened on 2nd of October this year, and it will continue until mid-November. This is the third solo show of Iulia Toma in the gallery, and the work that she's presenting is somehow continuing what she did in the previous ones, meaning she continues working in the textile medium. Iulia Toma is a young artist living and working in Bucharest. She's born in 1974. Nodes of Resistance, it's a research in itself that Iulia did on the subject of history of feminism and women liberation rights. The visual and cultural repertoire of these works encompasses a wide range of historical times and representational styles, from those of a certain pop or political posters aesthetics, in the case of recognizable figures, such as the communist activist or anti-fascist fighter of Jewish Basarabian origins, Olga Bancik, the American political activist and abolitionist Harriet Tubman, the American anarchist militant of Jewish Lithuanian origins, Emma Goldman, or the American author and political activist Angela Davis, to those of styled silhouettes and outlines rendering representatives of the suffragette movements from America, Australia, Great Britain, or Japan, as well as anonymous fighters for freedom, liberation, and equality, not necessarily belonging to any feminist wave, organized movement, or ideology. Nor active fight nor passive resistance are the domain of the most visible and well-known examples from the history of feminism, but rather include all those unknown, invisible presences of women throughout the world who contribute through small, daily gestures and for whom the artist leaves open this subjective selection of symbolic images. The gallery exists for more than 12 years now. Initially, it was located in the city center in a different space, much smaller. In 2010, beginning of 2010, we moved to this space and we've been here for already 10 years now. We put up 5 to 6 shows each year, and until this year we participated in about 5-6 art fairs each year. The art fairs represented an important and still represents an important part of our activity because it's the easiest and fastest way and the best way to connect with the collectors that we have abroad. Not only in Europe, but especially in US, in New York. We've been doing Freeze New York since 2013 each year, and also we've been doing Armory Show and Independent New York. This year, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, we did only 2 physical art fairs, Arco in Madrid and Independent in New York, and then we continued with the online art fairs. The online is becoming more and more an important way of participating not only in art fairs but also doing exhibitions. At the moment we represent 16 artists, most of them Romanian artists, but also international artists from different parts of the world. But our main focus is the local scene in Romania. Apart from the art fairs, what we have been doing this year, and probably we will try to focus more in the next 2 years, are collaborations with other galleries and trying to do exhibitions in spaces, not only in our space, but spaces abroad. Somehow trying to overcome the lack of physical art fairs and trying to stay connected with the collectors that we know and to be able to show them and keep them informed of what we are doing, not only via email. In this, a good example of what in this direction is the collaboration that we did in Condo, which exists already for a few years. We did Condo, New York, with Simon Subal Gallery, and that was that gave me the idea of collaborating more with young galleries and with galleries somehow at the same level as mine. I think in the 90s that was quite common, and then it became somehow not so popular, but now it's coming back again, this kind of partnership and collaboration between galleries, sharing a space, sharing a booth at an art fair, sharing artists, and then in the end sharing sales. Being based in Bucharest, it has its advantages and somehow certain things that create more curiosity from people when they come across what we are doing. And still there is an interest of artists coming from this region in general, and that is why we kept focusing on artists from Romania. Since I started the gallery, the program has artists from different generations. There is a mixture of older artists with mid-career artists, with younger artists, and that was something that came somehow naturally. It wasn't a focus. Some of the artists we started working in the first year of the gallery, like Geta Brătescu, and then eventually other artists I came across through the artists that I was already working with. We became friends, and that's also in the program. Most of the artists that I work with, we have a close relation, not only focused on the work, but also what's going on in general in our lives, and communicate a lot. And that is also how I would define our role as a gallery and as a gallerist in relation to them. We are more than just the dealer. We are also sometimes a friend, sometimes an advisor. Sometimes we help with production of other projects. There are cases we can go even into helping them with accounting or daily life matters that they have to take care of. Now in Bucharest you have quite a good number of commercial galleries. There are also project spaces and artist-run spaces. Some of the artists that I work with, I discovered through exhibition in other spaces, and then eventually I invited those artists to do a solo show or to be part of a project in the gallery. For example, Iulia Toma, whose exhibition we see now, I saw her work in a group show in a project space, and then from that I invited her to have a solo show in the gallery. That was already 4 years ago, and from that we started working together on a long-term basis. The scene is in Bucharest, it's quite happening, although the institutional support is not so significant. And artists are trying to find ways of managing and going further and being able to work, although the conditions are not the best ones. Hopefully things will change in the future, and we hope there will be more support for the local artists.